Hello everyone, and welcome to another Dragonfly deck review. My name's Dan, Dragonfly9078, and today I'm going to be uh, talking about my deck that I made, quite a while ago. Um, Although it's not especially uncommon now, I think, which is my Merlantean deck. And I would just like to note that I realize that it is like what the combination of mermales and Atlanteans is called Merlantean, and that's like a common thing, and it makes sense. But I would like to point out I did think of it before I heard that, and I thought it was really clever on my part. So it's probably actually not, but that's okay because I like it. I thought it was my word first, and yeah, but whatever. So, just saying. Um, so yeah. You might already know what they do. Their various Atlanteans generally have effects that activate when they are sent to the graveyard to activate a water monster's effect, and mermales either have effects that activate in the same way or have effects that allow the use of the Atlantean effects. I do not, of course, have all of the Atlanteans or all of the mermales in here. I don't have the new Atlantean, the Tridon one. I didn't put that in here. I think I'm going to keep it as it is now and just wait and put that into my just solid Atlantean deck when I make one. That will probably be the thing on Friday. I'm thinking Merlanteans today, mermales tomorrow, or not tomorrow, but Wednesday, and then Atlanteans for the Friday thing. So let's go through it. Our first card is not an Atlantean or a mermale. It is Abyss Soldier. Pretty well. It's been around for a while. It's a level 4 Water Aqua monster. 1800 attack, 1300 defense. Once per turn, you can discard a water monster to the graveyard to target a card on the field and return it to the hand. Very good card. It can bounce really anything from the field. And it allows the use of Atlantean effects and certain mermale effects. Yeah. So, and it has pretty decent attack power too. Atlantean Attack Squad is a level 3 Sea Serpent. All of the Atlantean cards are Sea Serpents. It's water, of course, 1400 attack, 0 defense, and it gains 800 attack while you control a face-up fish, sea serpent, or aqua monster other than Atlantean Attack Squad. Or, I suppose, other than this card. If you have 2 of them, they both get the boost. Not the most useful of the Atlanteans, but it's a pretty good beat stick. Next is Atlantean Dragoons. It's a level 4 Water Sea Serpent. 1800 attack, 0 defense, very good card. All face-up level 3 or lower Sea Serpent monsters you control can attack your opponent directly. This is very good with Legendary Ocean, because that reduces him to level 3, but also puts him up to 2000, so definitely a good card with that. When Atlantean Dragoons is sent to the graveyard to activate a water monster's effect, add 1 Sea Serpent type monster from your deck to your hand except Atlantean Dragoons. So, that is literally any Atlantean card except for Atlantean Dragoons. And also Spined Gillman. Yeah. Atlantean Heavy Infantry and Atlantean Marksman are probably the most well-known of the Atlantean cards. Atlantean Heavy Infantry is a level 2 Water Sea Serpent, 0 attack, 1600 defense. During your main phase, you can normal summon a level 4 or lower Sea Serpent monster in addition to your normal summoner set. But you can only do that once per turn. When heavy infantry is sent to the grave to activate a water monster's effect, you can destroy a face-up card your opponent controls. Face-up monster, face-up spell or trap, doesn't matter. So Atlantean heavy infantry destroys face-up cards. Atlantean marksman destroys face-down cards when it's sent to the grave to activate a water monster's effect. Atlantean marksman is level 3 Sea Serpent, water of course, 1400 attack, 0 defense. When it inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you can special summon a level 4 lower Atlantean Sea Serpent from your deck except for marksman. Works very well with Dragoons, because Dragoons lets it attack directly. It inflicts battle damage, then you can summon, say, Attack Squad and attack directly for another, 2200? So definitely good cards. Our first Mermail is Mermail Abyss Gunda. Is a level 3 Water Aqua, 1400 attack, 800 defense. If Abyss Gunda is discarded to the graveyard, you can target a Mermail monster in your graveyard except Abyss Gunda and special summon it. But you can only use one Abyss Gunda per turn. So, special summon a monster from your graveyard, any Mermail monster. That's a pretty good thing to have. Next is Mermail Abyss Hilda. Is a level 3 Water Aqua. Yeah, it's funny, the level 3 ones are Aquas, and the level 4 ones are Fish. And the level 7 ones are Sea Serpents. Anyway, so Hild is 1300 and 400. It's a level 3 Water Aqua. If she is sent to the graveyard at all, you can special summon a Mermail from your hand except for Hilda, and you can only use it once per turn. So Hilda, Gund, and Linda are pretty much the same. They can special summon Mermails from different places when they are sent to the graveyard. Lind has to be destroyed from the field, Gund has to be discarded, and Hild can be sent from anywhere. But yeah, the best one is probably Linda, because she summons from the deck. If she's on the field and destroyed, you can special summon a Mermail from your deck. So she's the easiest to activate and probably the best one in terms of summoning, like where you're summoning from. Because hand is pretty restricted, graveyard is good, but the discarding thing is, again, restrictive. And Linda is 1500 and 1200, level 3 Water Aqua. Mermail Abyss Lung is a level 4 Water Fish, 1200 attack, 1800 defense. Your opponent cannot target face-up water monsters for attacks except for this card. And all water monsters you control gain 300 attack. So that's actually a change. I think it used to be all water monsters other than this card gain 300 attack. So that's actually good. So I do have 2 of them. They can make a Marauding Captain lock. As long as you don't have any non-water monsters on the field, which the only non-water monsters in this deck are Wind-Up Zen Mines. So good luck with that. One of the biggest monsters in the deck is Mermail Abyss Megalo. Is a level 7 Water Sea Serpent, 2400 attack, 1900 defense. You can discard 2 other water monsters to the graveyard, which activates Gund, Hild, heavy infantry, marksmen, dragoons, the whole deal. And that special summons Megalo from your hand. When you do that, you can add one Abyss spell or trap card from your deck to your hand. In this deck, that's Abyss Scale of the Kraken, Abyss Sphere, Abyss Squall, Abyss Strom, and I think that's it, because I don't have all of them in here. And while it's face up on the field, you contribute another face-up attack position water monster you control, and Megalo can attack twice during the battle phase of that turn. Again, that activates Hilda, Dragoons, Infantry, and Marksman. Does not activate, does not activate Gunda because that's not discarding her. I tried putting in some music this time because I felt the other ones were a bit bland without it. Didn't expect it to get that loud, sorry. Mermail Abyss Pike is a level 4 waterfish, 1608 and 800. When Pike is normal or special summoned, you can discard a water monster. Again, all the ones that were activated by Megalo's discard effect. You can discard a water monster to the graveyard, add a level 3 water monster from your deck to your hand. It is specifically level 3, so that is Attack Squad, Marksman, Gund, Linda, and Hilda, or Spined Guillman. And you can only use one Pike per turn. Abyss Turge is another level 4 fish, water, of course, 1700 and 1100. When Turge is normal or special summoned, you can discard a water monster, and then add a level 3 or lower water monster from your graveyard to your hand. So again, Hilda, Marksman, Attack Squad, that's Hilda, that's Gunda, and Lind. So these two are good for getting monsters out. Did I say this special summons a monster? No, it adds it from the deck to the hand. Sorry. They both add from the deck to the hand. There's another one that I believe is Abyss Nose. Oh, why am I... There's others. There's like Abyss Dine, Abyss Mander. Where's the... there it is, Abyss Nose. Abyss Nose is useful. He's in my solid Mermail deck. So next is another one of our big monsters, Poseidra, the Atlantean dragon, or Poseidra. I think it's Poseidra because it sounds like Poseidon. Is another level 7 water sea serpent, 2800 attack, 1600 defense. You contribute 3 level 3 or lower water monsters to special summon Poseidra from your hand or graveyard. That, again, activates Marksman, Infantry, Dragoons, Hilda. If you do, return all spell and trap cards on the field to the hand, and if 3 or more cards are returned to the hand by this effect, all monsters your opponent currently controls lose 300 attack for each of those cards. So it basically can special summon itself from the hand or the graveyard, and when it does, it's Giant Trunade plus your opponent's monsters lose attack power. It's a pretty good card. The having 3 monsters to tribute can be restrictive, but on the whole, this is a very, very swarming deck, so it can happen pretty easily. Spined Guillman is not a Mermail or an Atlantean, as you may have guessed, although he does look like the Atlanteans. He has like the same kind of fishy face, except his eyes aren't as bulbous, I suppose. He's a level 3 water sea serpent, 1300 attack, 0 defense. All fish, sea serpent, and aqua monsters you control gain 400 attack. So, just support for the various types. Abyss Scale of the Kraken can only equip to a Mermail monster. That monster gains 400 attack. When a monster effect that was activated on your opponent's side of the field resolves, negate that effect, then send Kraken to the graveyard, or Abyss Guild the Kraken to the graveyard. I'm not sure if this is mandatory, like the first one that activates you negate, or if you choose. Unfortunately, I think it might be mandatory, but I'll probably look that up. There's two other Abyss Scales. Abyss Scale of the Cetus, which works for traps, and Abyss Scale of the Mizuchi, which works for spells. And Cetus and Mizuchi each increase by 800 instead of 400. Aquajet. Target a face-up fish, sea serpent, or aqua monster you control, gains 1000 attack. It is a permanent boost, and Aquajet, as a normal spell card, goes off the field, so they can't, like, MST it or something. Yeah. Clear World actually works in this deck. During each of your end phases, pay 500 life points or destroy Clear World. Each player receives effects depending on the monster attributes they control. If you have a light monster, one or more light monsters, you have to play with your hand revealed at all times. If you have a dark monster, if you control 2 or more monsters, you cannot declare an attack. If you have earth monsters, during your standby phase, target a face-up defense position monster you control and destroy it. If you have water monsters, during your end phase, discard 1 card. If you have fire monsters, during your end phase, you take 1000 damage. And if you have wind monsters, you must pay 500 life points to activate a spell card. Obviously, I only have water monsters, and it makes me discard. I do have to pay 500 life points each turn, but it makes me discard. Which, again, works for Hilda, it actually doesn't work for the Atlanteans, but it works for Hilda, and it works for Good. That is kind of paltry, isn't it? Not as many as I thought, but it's still useful. And the other effects can be really restrictive on the opponent. Interesting fact. I believe, and I read this on the Yu-Gi-Oh! Wikia rulings page, I think for Clear World, if they have light monsters and they're playing Kawaki Meru cards, the ones that require you to reveal a monster of the same type, or like discard Iron Core of Kawaki Meru or destroy the monster. I believe if they have a light monster, they have to discard the Iron Core because the hand is already revealed, so they can't reveal a card. It's kind of a weird little thing, but I think that does work. DD Trench, as I call it, because it's easier than saying Different Dimension Deep Sea Trench. When this card resolves, banish a water monster from your hand, graveyard, or face-up on the field. Then, when this face-up card on the field is destroyed, special summon that banished monster to your side of the field. Pretty good card. It can act as deterrent from Heavy Storm, so your opponent doesn't want to give you Poseidra or Megalo, or, I don't know, Abyss Soldier. And you can use it yourself with Abyss Drum, because Abyss Drum is basically Heavy Storm. Yeah. Lemuria, because it's like lemurs. The Forgotten City is the other field card I'm using. It is treated as Umi, whatever, however you pronounce it. All water monsters gain 200 attack and defense. Pretty self-explanatory. Once per turn, during your main phase, you can have all water monsters you currently control gain levels equal to the number of water monsters you currently control until the end phase. What this means is it's a lot easier to get out higher rank XYZs. And it probably works for Synchros too. But, so, if I have 3 level 4 monsters, then all of them become level 7. Because they gain levels equal to the number of water monsters I control. It's pretty simple, and it helps a lot getting out Abyss Gaios, because he is really good. Moray of Greed, another pretty standard water support card. Shuffle 2 water monsters from your hand into the deck, then draw 3 cards. Good card. Salvage. Target 2 water monsters with 1500 or less attack in your graveyard, add those to your hand. Works for Spined Gillman, Abyss Hild, Abyss Lung, Abyss Lind, Abyss Gund, Atlantean Marksman, Atlantean Heavy Infantry, and Atlantean Attack Squad. So it can target most of the cards in this deck. Surface. Target 1 level 3 or lower fish, sea serpent, or aqua monster in your graveyard, special summon it in face-up defense position. Again, Gillman, Hilda, Attack Squad, Heavy Infantry, Marksman. Pretty much everything that Salvage can grab, Surface can also grab. Terraforming, I'm sure you know about. Water Hazard. Once per turn, you can special summon a level 4 or lower water monster from your hand, as long as you don't have any monsters on the field. Definitely a useful card, because you can normal summon, or you can special summon with that, and then normal summon something else. Or you can tribute for it, or something. Although, you couldn't really tribute with this deck, because the only tribute monsters require 2 or 3 for Poseidra's effect. Abyss Sphere is a very good card. Special summon a mermail monster from the deck. Its effects are negated. You cannot activate any spell cards. When this card leaves the field, destroy that monster. Destroy this card during your opponent's next end phase after activation. It doesn't seem like this would be a good card, but it actually is, because the main monster you're going to want to use it with is Abyss Linda. You special summon her from the deck, maybe even during your opponent's battle phase. That's actually a really good time to summon her, because she can protect her life points, and then if she's destroyed in battle, she's sent to the graveyard, and it activates, because her effect activates in the grave. And if they don't attack her, then this is destroyed during the end phase, and then she's destroyed, she goes to the graveyard, and you activate her effect. So, Abyss Sphere is very good with Abyss Lind. Abyss Squall. Target 3 mermail monsters in your graveyard, special summon those targets in face-up defense position. Their effects are negated, and they cannot declare an attack. Destroy them during the end phase. Again, good with Lind, good with Hild. Activates the special summoning. Activates the special summoning portions of Pike and Turge. You can use it to overlay 2 Megalos into Abyss Gaios. Heck, you can use it to overlay Lind, Hild, and Gund into Abyss Trite. I admit I don't use it that often, but when I do, it definitely helps. Yeah. The last of our Abyss cards is Abyss Strom, which I believe comes from Maelstrom. It's not Abyss Storm, it's Abyss Strom. Send a face-up Umi you control, these are both counted as Umi, to the graveyard, and then send all spell and trap cards on the field to the graveyard. So it's basically Heavy Storm, but it can actually be a bit better, because it does not say they are destroyed, so it can get around things like the Huge Revolution is over, Starlight Road, Stardust Dragon, things that say when this card is destroyed, so-and-so. And it works with Abyss Sphere because this says when this card leaves the field, not when it's destroyed. So, pretty good. Does not work with DD Trench because that does specify destroyed actually, so I was wrong. You cannot use Abyss Strom to activate DD Trench. But it's generally a pretty good card. Aegis of the Ocean Dragon Lord. Until the end phase, face up level 3 or lower water monsters you control can't be destroyed by battle or card effects. Pretty self-explanatory. The majority of cards in this deck, I believe, are level 3 or lower. So, or the majority of monsters at least, are level 3 or lower. So, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. Bubblebringer. Level 4 or higher monsters cannot attack directly. That's your monsters and your opponents. During your turn, you can send this face-up card from the field to the graveyard to target 2 level 3 or lower water monsters with the same name in your graveyard. Special summon those targets, their effects are negated. Again, pretty self-explanatory. Works well with mermales because their effects are the level 3 or lower ones of their effects. The Linda, Hilda, probably wouldn't want to get Gund because she requires, she needs to be discarded. But these two resolve off-field because they resolve in the graveyard. Although I guess in this deck it's pretty much restricted to Linda, or I guess attack squad, or heavy infantry, or marksman. But if their effects are negated, actually if their effects are negated, it's still good because they also resolve off field. If you send them to the grave to activate something's effect, that still resolves off field. So still good. Yeah. Poseidon Wave is a pretty good card. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can negate the attack. It does target the attacking monster. And then, if you control any face-up fish, sea serpent, or aqua monsters, your opponent takes 800 damage for each and every one. Pretty good. These are just other cards called the Atlanteans. It's an Atlantean support card. I'll go into that more some other time. The XYZs are just generally water monsters, except for Zen Mines, of course. Oh, I should put, because that's a new card that wasn't around last time I looked at this deck. What's that? Recurring Nightmare. Huh. Okay, so I'm gonna take out a Zen Mines and put in a Nightmare Shark. So the ones you have to think about in this deck are Mermail Abyss Gaios. Is a rank 7 water aqua monster, 2800 attack, 1600 defense, requires 2 level 7 water monsters, which can be Megalo and Poseidra, can be some things with Lemuria, the Forgotten City. While he has materials, level 5 or higher monsters cannot attack. Note that does not include him because XYZ monsters do not have levels. Once per turn, during either player's turn, you can detach an XYZ material from him to negate the effects of all face-up monsters your opponent controls that have less attack than Abyss Gaios until the end of the turn. If you increase his attack with Abyss Gale the Kraken, Aqua Jet, Lemuria the Forgotten City, this can be an incredible ability. Even if you don't, it's still a pretty good ability. Interesting thing about Abyss Gaios, if you look closely, he kind of looks like a centaur, you know, like human torso, lower half is, I guess, a horse, but in this case, the lower half of his body is actually Poseidra the Atlantean dragon. Like, they have the same, like, plates on the tail, they have essentially the same body. And the tip of his trident is the same trident that is on Poseidra's tail. So, they did mean for the makers of the game did mean for the Atlanteans and the Mermails to work together. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure they would not have made Mermail Abyss Gaios have the same body as Poseidra the Atlantean dragon. And they even have the same attack power. Actually, they have the same stats. Attack and defense, I did not notice that. Did not notice that at all. Maybe they're like the same thing and it can just like shapeshift, that would be really cool. Sorry. The other one is Mermail Abyss Trite. Is a rank 3 Water Sea Serpent with 1600 attack, 2800 defense, so the reverse of Abyss Gaios. requires 3 level 3 monsters. During either player's turn, when your opponent targets exactly one face-up mermail monster you control for an attack, or with a spell or trap card effect that could have targeted Mermail Abyss Trite, except during the damage step, you can detach one XYZ material from Abyss Trite to redirect that attack or effect to her. And when she is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon any Mermail monster from your graveyard except for Abyss Trite. Very good defensive card, very good card to get, I don't know, Megalo or something back, or you'll probably have used Lind as one of the materials. Oh, quick note, Hilda and Marksman do activate their effects when they are detached from a, actually, Hild, Heavy Infantry, and Marksman all get their effects when they are detached from an XYZ monster, because they are sent to the graveyard. Oh, she's kind of like a dolphin, I think. Yeah, that's cool. I just wasn't going to say Heavy Infantry because his level's too low to XYZ into Abyss Trite. But you can use him for, like, Bahamut Shark or something. And she can be summoned by Bahamut Shark, because she is rank 3. So yeah, sorry, kind of lost my train of thought for a second. So yeah, that's my Merlantean deck. I was very proud of that word, but apparently I just had not heard that that is what it's actually called, or that is the common name for it, so I thought I was being clever, but I guess I wasn't. So, yeah. Anyway, that's all I got for you. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time.